Alright, so based on my recent discoveries, turns out that I probably have 2 to 3 inches clearance between the floorboard that I was showing you and where my pulley is going to sit. Therefore, it's telling me my belt is going to stay 2 or 3 inches below my floorboard. Therefore, I believe I can lower the rear end like I want to, at least a little bit, 1 or 2 inches. That's going to be good for me. I'll like that, and then I'll go ahead and I'll set the seat, the fenders back on it, see where the tires sit, and then I can go ahead, level the machine out with my front axle. That's probably going to have to come up more, which is fine. And then I can go ahead with the welding and the fabrication. I just didn't want to put the front end in if I had the chance or the ability to lower the rear end a little bit, because the lower you get, the more stable this machine's going to be. I don't want to be sitting way up in the air going stupid fast trying to turn. And I've raced some motorcycles in my day and four-wheelers, and the term high side does not excite me. Okay, a high side is something you do not want to do ever. All right, especially on a lawnmower, no roll cage. So I think we're going to go ahead and I'm gonna pop these wheels off the back, and I'm gonna start doing some fabrication. See what we got to do to get her down a couple inches. At least, I think I'm going 2 inches. I'm gonna drop her down 2 inches. Let's see what happens. However, will you complete this job without high quality snap-on tools? That's another gig. Them tool days are gone. Millions and millions of dollars you spend on tools. Then when you break one, you got to replace it. You can't find a dealer anywhere, so you're better off going to the old HF establishment and getting yourself some tools. People used to razz other people about that, but I'll tell you what, I can break 10 of them, whatever it may be, and replace them for less than I pay for one of them big name brands. They ain't worth it. So, yeah. This is, I'm learning. That's all I can tell you. So we got some more stuff to rip apart here. I don't know how far I want to rip apart. I really don't want to tear this whole rear end apart if I'm not going to be able to lower it anymore. And the more I've done with my belt, looking at my belt and sizing stuff up, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think I'm as low as I can go right now until the next project, which is, that'll be legit. I'm just wondering, in the beginning of this, I was like, oh, let's go full blast with this one, but I think it's the right chassis to do it on because it seems like Craftsman's the best one to work with, but I don't know if I'm ready for all that, because if I go and put that much money into this thing and then I ain't got nowhere to race it. There's nowhere to race it around here. I'm in upstate New York. Where am I going to race it? Go to a fair? That's not. It's not what we're looking to do. So, anywho, got the side kick off of here, floorboard. Do some more stripping down. You guys gotta be crazy going nuts. You're just like, will you just build that damn thing? But this is all part of it, boys. Sometimes you just gotta sit and look at it. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so based on my recent discoveries, turns out that I probably have 2 to 3 inches clearance between the floorboard that I was showing you and where my pulley is going to sit. Therefore, it's telling me my belt is going to stay 2 or 3 inches below my floorboard. Therefore, I believe I can lower the rear end like I want to, at least a little bit, 1 or 2 inches. That's going to be good for me. I'll like that, and then I'll go ahead and I'll set the seat, the fenders back on it, see where the tires sit, and then I can go ahead, level the machine out with my front axle. That's probably going to have to come up more, which is fine. And then I can go ahead with the welding and the fabrication. I just didn't want to put the front end in if I had the chance or the ability to lower the rear end a little bit, because the lower you get, the more stable this machine's going to be. I don't want to be sitting way up in the air going stupid fast trying to turn. And I've raced some motorcycles in my day, and four-wheelers, and the term high side does not excite me. Okay, a high side is something you do not want to do ever. All right, especially on a lawnmower, no roll cage. So I think we're going to go ahead, and I'm gonna pop these wheels off the back, and I'm gonna start doing some fabrication. See what we got to do to get her down a couple inches. At least, I think I'm going 2 inches. I'm gonna drop her down 2 inches. Let's see what happens. So there's not a lot of stuff on YouTube about race mowers. Well, when I say there's not a lot, there's like not a lot for the beginner guy to go out and just go ahead and do this. All right, there's guys that have been doing it a while, very big professionals that talk about technical stuff and, you know, all the fancy parts they're using. And yeah, there's a couple guys out there that just threw different pulleys on their tractor, and that's what they consider a race mower. But I don't really see anybody other than one guy that, you know, gets really deep into it, and that's the only reason I'm really doing this. For one, I just want to play around and have fun, and for two, I figured, you know, maybe I can give you some more insight, more depth about what it takes. There is a YouTube channel out there. I don't want to say it because I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but I believe it's the Jantic Journal. But that guy, he builds a lot of tractors and he knows what's going on. Like, he's legit. Okay, I'm just me. That dude's legit. And he's the one that put it in my mind that if you're going to do something, everything he's doing is Craftsman. I'm like, all right, well, I got a Craftsman. Let's see why. And it's because they're very easy to work on. Like I said, I just removed 3 bolts from this side, 3 bolts from this side to hold the transaxle down the frame, and then 2 supports in the front. And so now I have the rear sitting on a can. So now once I move that can, I'll be able to drop it down, resource my holes, and drill some new holes. So they're very builder friendly. I'm not doing this to, you know, because I'm this excellent builder. I'm just doing it like everybody else might want to screw around and do. You know, I heard a beeping a while ago. I'm like, what is that beeping? I thought the GoPro was going dead. Turns out it was my oven timer, because I got some chicken in there for making for a football game later. Or, you know, just whatever. Now, I seem to be having a problem, and the problem is I'm only going down an inch or 2 in the back, and it probably just settled to where it's going to be. And it maybe moved an inch. But now that screws up everything else. That screws up my linkages for my shifter. And so now that I just moved that 1 inch, there's a bunch of stuff that's got to be refabricated, which is not a problem. It's all part of the process. So I guess I should go ahead and unhook that, because that's going to be an issue. And of course, you know, like I said, we're not full-blown professionals here. This is just me in the garage, because I have nothing to fix, so I might as well build something stupid like a toy. Meanwhile, I got laundry going. I'm cooking dinner. You know, I got a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm not one of them professional guys with 13 editors and camera people. Probably just want me to shut up and start working. Okay, so we'll take that bolt out of the shifting linkage. I will pop this linkage off, hopefully. It's press fit on there. It only goes on one way, so it's also pressed on, and it's been there since tractor was new in 2000 something. I'll put the hardware back in the shifter so I'm not looking for that later, because you know that's how it happens. So now we went down, we actually went back too. I'm gonna have to set the fenders on here. Make sure everything's working. These guys are a little bit out of sorts. Luckily, like I was saying before, I can just loosen these up on the gearbox. I should be able to shift them. This is all part of mock-up, guys. Mock-up is usually the hardest part, especially when you're guessing. Alright, so I'm just going to swing those down out of the way. I can always make new brackets. This baby's sitting back where it was. This bracket's got to go move. They got to move a little more. It's not enough. Let's put the old impact down there. Zip them off, maybe. Let me get my swivel socket. Now I got to walk all the way over to the other side for my other sockets. I moved into this house and I tried to get it, this little garage here, user friendly, because there's nothing worse than running in circles, but it's never enough room, no matter where you are. I don't care if you got a 60 by 100 pole barn, you're still going to run out of room, because you keep filling it with junk. That's what us guys do. All right. There she is. It's almost, it should be at the same spot, forward to rear, but she did drop down. How far did it drop down? I think we only got a 3/4 inch. I was hoping for 1 or 2, but we don't have enough clearance there. I suppose I could trim and get it to go down more. But like I said, I got to worry about where this pulley's going to land. Obviously, the pulley's going to be smaller than this one, but we are using this one for mock-up. I was thinking about I could make some gearing. I could make, you know, pulleys and shivs and all that to make it work better. I could probably go horizontal to vertical, I'm sure, with some pulleys and stuff, but I'm not into all that. I think that's more work than what it's worth. Seeing as how this is not a legit full-blown race tractor, you're kind of just wasting energy doing that, I think. We're going to take this shifter right off. I think we're going to take it off. I'm not sure what's going on or how it's, I don't see any slots for it to just slide out. We undo enough bolts, something's going to fall apart. Alright, let me get the old socket on here. It's always good to have a set of swivel sockets. I went to the old HF and got me some swivel sockets. And they've worked great. Nothing better than a swivel socket in time of need. And if you don't have a swivel socket, you're probably going to be using 18 extensions to get where you need to be. I don't think these were that much money either. I want to say these were like 25 bucks or something. They're well worth it. Alright, that bracket fell off. This bracket's falling out. obviously this ain't coming out because I got a bolt in the end of this. That's probably like a 10 millimeter or something, I think. 10 or 7/16, something like that. The other part for the old Ryobi's giving me some problems. What's going on here, guy? Battery going dead? Oh yeah, she's getting low. The other reason for making these videos while I do this, I found it helps that I can watch them. I can watch them back when I try and figure out where everything went and where everything come from when I'm struggling to put it together. Yeah, there's another pressed on item. Let's get all our spacers out of here. Where's my little claw hammer? There we go. It's funny. I got like 10 ball peen hammers, and that one's always laying out looking at me like, hey, use me. I'm in, coach. Put me in, coach. Now we'll get the shifting apparatus out of our way, which I said we're going to have to modify that anyway. So now you got a little bit better look at what's going on. I do see that, I don't know, maybe I can zoom in a little bit. I do see that we are hitting our brake mechanism, so once again we'll probably have to figure that out too. My oven's beeping at me. I gotta run upstairs again and check the chicken. We'll be back. Alright, so what I was trying to explain earlier was now that we got it lowered down, our brake mechanism is going to lay on the frame. Okay, I can notch that, I can fab that in, but like I was saying before, guys, I don't know till I get the fenders on and get this thing mocked up if that's something I want to do or should do. Okay, that's all my process of building this thing is. I'm not just going to go gung-ho and just start cutting and bolting and drilling and everything else and then run into a problem later on. There is some things to consider. I don't know what those things are until I get to them. That's part of the process we're doing here. And it's all about the lowering and the stance of the tractor. So I think I'm good. I gotta slap my pulley on and see where my belt lands, and I'm gonna use my stock pulley. And I'm going to put it on upside down because it does have a spacer on one side and not on the other. So I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to put the small side down. Therefore, it will give me a little bit more, clearance. Put a little oil on this thing. She's got some rust on her. The more space, the better. All right, so now our pulley's on. I do have my belt laying under the tractor. Aim this thing up a little bit. I do have the belt under here still. So I'm just gonna put this belt on so you guys can see what I'm talking about if you don't already know. I know there's probably some young boys out there going, what's he talking about? I gotta know, because I'm gonna rip mom and dad's lawnmower apart and I'm gonna make a race tractor. So this is where our belt's running underneath our floorboard, okay? And now I don't have the power plant in it, but I do have pulleys underneath that this belt is still hooked to. And if I kind of hold this belt to where my drive pulley is going to be, I hope you can see that because I can't see where I'm pointing this thing, and for some reason it doesn't stay lit up. This is my idler pulley right here, okay, and that sits right about there. Actually, it goes on the stud on the bottom side. So right about there is where the original pulley was. So if I kind of hold it right in that area And then we step back here and take a gander at the clearance. I still got another inch. I think I can go down more, guys, because lower you down. Come on down here, get underneath the tractor so we can see what we're talking about. It's probably hard to see, but here's our belt right here. Okay, you see my hand. I know, I'm sorry, there's not a lot of light there, but I do have, let's put these up on the pulleys and make sure. I have another inch. I can do one more inch. Call me crazy, boys, but I'm pretty sure we can get another inch out of her. So you know what? I say we go for it. What do you say? You think we should go for it? Full send? What's the worst that can happen, right? Worst that can happen is it doesn't work and I gotta raise it up a little bit. And that's with the stock pulley. With the smaller pulley, I'm probably gonna have a little more leeway. I think what is probably a good idea for me to do is find out where my brackets are, where my brackets were. I'm gonna use this back edge of this inside here to use as my straight line. I'm gonna get this all squared up. I'm gonna mark it, my depth of cut, and then I'm gonna pop this thing right off this transaxle and I'm gonna notch them out. I'm gonna notch those out and we're gonna drop it down a little bit more. So I'm gonna get after that. I don't know if you want to watch or not, but I mean, hey, you're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? Let me just get you to where you'd like to sit. Sit comfortably. And I'll let the footage roll. And you can sit back and watch. Alright, boys and girls, I went ahead and I got the rear axle out. I set it over there on the floor, stood it up. This handle's got to come out. I keep hitting that downward handle with my foot on accident, and I let the lift down. I just wanted to break in here. I got everything cleaned up. I got all my parts off the lift that I didn't need. There's a couple things that we still don't need that we need to take off, but there's not many. All right, these pulleys here, obviously they're not where they're supposed to be. This one mounts here, and it sits over here, which it doesn't want to do right now because the pedal is laying on the lift and it's in the wrong direction. But as far as this pulley here, we're going to need this. Okay, we're going to need these pulleys. These are going to be your tensioner pulleys. And obviously your belt's going to come up like this. And it's going to be on your drive pulley. So these are going to be your pulleys to engage and disengage your clutch, which we're going to keep on. We're going to use those. As far as that, the belt goes back here and it's going to hook to our transaxle. So, as far as I know, from what I come up with the last part of the video, is you can see the factory marks right here on this frame where it's not painted, that's where my mounting points were on the transaxle from the factory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make very good straight marks, and I'm going to come down this side. I'm going to go an inch past right where the paint line is. I'm going to go 1 inch past that, and I'm going to mark that out, and that's where my new bolt holes are going to go. So therefore, I got to take an inch off of this edge and this piece here. I need that transaxle to sit down in. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this out, and then we're going to cut whatever the distance is between here and here. We're going to cut off here, and that will allow our mounts to set down more. I want to explain that to you, and so you get it. I don't think that everybody watching this is, you know, is clueless, but you know, it's good. It's good if someone's watching and you want to know how I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add an inch to this paint line, and I'm going to square it up with my square and my marker. I'm going to make a nice line of where the bracket's going to be, the new location of the bracket, and I'm going to take my angle grinder, and I'm going to cut off wheel. I'm going to take this much off. Whatever I take here, I'm taking off of here to make clearance for the axle to drop. So I just wanted to break in and show you what's going on there and show you what I'm doing. And the problem is, I would keep it on record the whole time, but I don't know about you guys, but when I'm working, I work and think best when I got my music playing, and for some reason YouTube does not like that, and it's about licensing, and I think it's a bunch of crap, because if I'm listening to my music while working and you think I'm that musician and trying to steal his music, you're an idiot. That's all I got to say. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to have my music playing lightly in the background. It helps me work, so that's why I'd rather do the time-lapse video, because I need my music or I can't think. So that's what we're doing now, guys. I'm gonna move on to that, and let's see what happens, huh? And while you are in your little shop, make sure before you do any angle cutting with your angle grinder that you're prepared for the worst. All right, I have my fire extinguisher over there on top of my little welder, and if you happen to spin this way, you can see right down there. Maybe you can't because it's dark. I have my garden hose. My garden hose is wrapped up and it's hanging right here. Just in the other room, I have a utility sink with a hookup for this garden hose in case anything goes wrong. So I don't want to be Mr. Negativity, but before you go and make all kinds of sparks, like I've said before in previous videos, spent some time right out of school actually, wanting to be a volunteer firefighter. So I was in the fire company for a while, and I watched my chief's shed burn down because he was grinding and sharpening lawnmower blades probably 4 hours before the call come in, and his shop burnt down, which was just a little shed, but still, it's a loss that you don't want. So before you go and make all kinds of sparks, look around your area to see what you got that's flammable. Be aware of that when you're making the sparks. Be aware of which way your sparks are flying. And make sure you have stuff to take care of it if something happens, all right? Little safety tip for you. Jump into this time lapse right here. Let's make sure we measure 3 times and cut once, because nobody likes it when the first cut's wrong and you can't fix it. Okay, welcome back, my fellow motorhead friends that like to do stuff for no reason at all. We went ahead and we made our cut, I got the wheels off the transaxle and I put it in place, and I cut off exactly this much. Okay, that's how much I took off of the frame for the transaxle to sit down in. I'm hitting my brake arm once again because we knew that was going to be a problem. And once that gets moved, I will be able to lower it down more, actually. Well, I should just take that off now. There's going to be a full-blown brake actuator redo anyway, so I might as well just take it off. Get this all up on my grill. Of course, it's held on by 15 bolts and not just one. Need me a 10 millimeter. We got 10 millimeter over here. Got a 7/16. Where's 10 millimeter? I'm not saying that on purpose either. The 10 millimeter. I found it. Don't worry, I found it. No, I didn't. That's an 11. 10 millimeter's gone. It's always the 10. That's usually a lot of memes on the internet about the 10 millimeter, but today it's real. Where is it? Are you kidding me? You know, the funny part is I haven't used the 10 millimeter today. Maybe they should just start using 11 millimeter bolts, and then we wouldn't spend so much time looking for 10 millimeter. Huh. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I wonder where I used that last. Because I didn't use it today. And why would the 11 be sitting there? Do you guys see it? Let me know. Actually, by the time you let me know, it'll be too late, so don't worry about it. All right, hang on. I'll find one. I got backup. Don't worry. I'll be back. Don't get lonely. It's all good. Baby. Well, it looks like we'll be editing this out of the video. You know what's weird? I don't even know where my 10 millimeter wrench is. What in the good Lord is going on? Come on. I swear I didn't do this on purpose. I'll just use my other wrench. I don't know. How could I possibly lose 10 millimeters? Because I always pay attention to them because I know that's a thing. Oh, I got the music on in the background. Therefore, I hope I can use this footage. I don't want people to think I'm the Eagles. You know? You might think I'm the Eagles or something. This is one of them special lock bolts because it has to do with the brakes. So when they put it on, they want to make sure they put it on with a torque wrench because they don't want your brakes to fail. Kind of like all the safety switches they put on. You know, because in your basic typical lawnmower fashion, they don't want you to be going, you know, 40 mile an hour and crash on your lawnmower. Like that's even possible. So just like the rest of the things in the world, they put the safety on top of the safety, and then the bolts are also safety. So there's a lot of safe stuff going on. Manufacturers are really worried about safety and lawsuits. Meanwhile, I'm building a lawnmower to go 60 mile an hour. Okay, so looks like the back half of my tractor's coming off because I had to take that bolt out to get this to fall, to get the transaxle to fall down. And apparently the tractor's like, well, just take it off, you don't need it. Now, you gotta get this bad boy to fall down a little bit, and it doesn't want to go down. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, I see. I got a couple threaded pieces. A couple threaded punch marks that won't let it fall. Alright, so here's where we're at now. This is our height. It's a lot lower than it was. There's no way that's going to work. So I'm going to work upside down here. Actually, I'm going to clamp this transaxle so it can't move on me, because I see it doesn't want to cooperate. Get myself a little clamp here. We're going to clamp it to where it's going to be. Alright, so in the world of pretend, that's where it's going to be attached. So let's go ahead and pretend some more and put this pulley on the transaxle. And pretend that's there. And then we're going to pretend the belt's on here. Which now you can see what I was talking about. Now my belt is hitting. So I thought I had an inch, but I don't have an inch. And you're probably screaming at your device right now going, "You're an idiot." Well, you know what? You might be right. No one was here to tell me I was an idiot, so I went ahead and did it. I asked everybody, what do you think about this idea? No one's telling me, no one's talking to me, so how am I supposed to know? Alright, so I got a bit of an angle there. We're negative a little bit. I think we have to, I think we got to come up a touch. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up to where that pulley is happy and this belt is happy. Well, first we got to unclamp it, dumbass. Sorry about my language. And then we're going to pick it up. Okay. Then in the world of pretend again, we're going to pretend this is where it's bolted. I mean, you know, it's probably not a big deal if it's not super low to the ground, but you know it'll look cool. I think I can live with that. And also, you know what else I think? I think I can get a pulley. Actually, even if I can't get a pulley, the pulley that I put on here, I'll just put an offset on it. I have room for an offset. I mean, the shaft stops an inch below above the transaxle. I can make an offset pulley. so it sits down on it more. Oh yeah, that's it. That's us right there. That's where we're putting her, just so you know. So that gives me right now, let's say these are tight. I got maybe a ½ inch between the belt and the body of the tractor, so that's good enough for me. And if I do go ahead and get another pulley and I make it offset, I'll take it and I'll cut it up and weld it up and fabricate it, make a custom offset so the pulley sits closer to the transaxle, which brings my belt down more. I'll do that. So yeah, I mean, I like it. The only thing now is put some holes in it, drill some holes, put my hardware back in it, flip her over, put some wheels on it, and see where it sits. That's the next step right there. Oh yeah, looking good there, Jim Bob, looking good. Don't know what that was, but it was probably important. Alright, so you probably can't see nothing. I haven't even looked at the camera to see if you see anything. But you've heard me been talking, so you know exactly what we're doing, what we got going on, and you know what we need to do next, so let's get after it. We're going to drill some holes, which is kind of loud for the camera, so I spared you your ears, and we're going to just zip through this real fast too. So it turns out now I did it. We're actually, the axle's a lot higher than it was before. We're a lot closer to the ground than we were before. And now if I put my fenders on, they are not even close to fitting. So therefore, we either raise the fenders up, which we're not going to do because I already notched them out. We need to do a little body work here and flare these out. That's probably what's going to happen. And therefore, that lowered my front end. So now I got to rethink the whole front end now. But I mean, it might look like I just did a lot of stuff for nothing, but that's not true. I got my center of gravity lower, which I feel is the most important part about this thing. And I mean, this is just cosmetics, and you know, I'm a body guy, so hell, we can figure it out. I can even put the spacer back on there if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I want it sitting low and proud. So we'll figure it out. We'll just keep mocking up. You gotta mock it all up before you can do anything else. You gotta, it's all part of fabrication and planning, which like I said, I have no planning, so. But yeah, I'll have to radius these a little bit. I think I'm gonna want to flare them out. That'll look pretty cool. And then we'll work on the front end. So as far as the rear end goes, as far as the transaxle goes in the back at this point in time, we are where we want to be. We can put our pulley on and we can make that belt work. We can put our fenders on and we can make our fenders work. I probably got 3/4 of an inch space here that they have to come up. I can make a spacer plate in between, raise it up, or like I said, I could flare the fenders out, which I think that's what I want to do. I'll move them back to where they are now and I'll flare them out. At this point, it's all about the look. You know, you got to have the look. When my neighbors are mowing the lawn and I rip by and throwing rooster tails at them, I want to make sure we look good. So, hey, that's all for this episode. We'll be back onto this project. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope you got some knowledge out of it. All I got for today, guys. I'm going to call it a day. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And go build something, will you?